Okay, tonight we're going to be still working with finding the probability of our data, but instead of using Venn diagrams, today we're going to work with frequency tables. And last year in coordinate algebra, you worked with frequency tables finding the totals in each row and column. So that's always the first thing you want to do, is you want to find the total. So if I find the total of the 9 and 10, 8 plus 7 is 15. If I find the total of the 11 and 12 column, 9 plus 16 is 25. If I find the total of the watch column, 8 plus 9 is 17. And the don't watch row is 7 plus 16 is 23. And no matter if I add my total column or my total row, I should always get the same answer. So there is 40 people that were in this survey or in this data. So the first thing you always want to do is you want to define your events. So I generally let the top part be event A. So I'm just going to say, let's let the 9 and 10 be event A. It also helps if I label it on my table. The next thing they want us to do is define event B. So I usually let my rows be event B. So I'm going to say watch is event B. Now that I've defined event A and event B, I can determine my probabilities. So the first thing you should be able to do is you should be able to find the probability of event A. Now, remember we defined event A being 9 and 10. Probability is the amount of event A, or amount choosing somebody that's 9 and 10 over the total. So I have 15 people that are 9 and 10 over a total of 40 people. You should always reduce your fraction. So if I reduce by the common factor of 5, that would give me a simplified fraction of 3 over 8. Now I can express probability as a decimal also. So I would say 3 divided by 8 gives me 0.375. So the probability of choosing somebody that's 9 or 10 is 0.375. And probability also can be expressed as a percent. So I can multiply by 100 or move my decimal 2 places to the right. So the percent of choosing somebody that's 9 or 10 is 37.5%. Now this question says P parentheses B, which means P stands for probability of event B. Now we defined event B as watching. So to find the probability that someone watched, we get the total that somebody watched, which is 17, over the total in the survey, which is 40. I can also express that as a decimal, so I would say 17 divided by 40. And that's going to give me 0.425, which can also be expressed as a percent by multiplying by 100, or moving the decimal simply 2 spaces to the right. So the probability of choosing someone that's watched is 42.5%. Now this question says P parentheses A apostrophe parentheses, which means when it has the parentheses, remember that is the complement. So we're wanting to find the probability of somebody that's not 9 to 10. So this would be there are 11 and 12 if they're not 9 to 10. So the number of people that are 11 to 12 are 25 over your total, which is 40, which that fraction can be simplified by a common factor of 5, which would be 5 over 8. If I wanted to express that as a decimal, I would divide 5 divided by 8, which gives me 0.625. I could also express that as a percent by multiplying by 100, or simply moving my decimal 2 spaces to the right. So the probability of choosing somebody that is not 9 to 10 is 62.5%. If I wanted to find the probability of somebody that's not in event B, again, remember that this apostrophe means not, or the complement. We said watching was event B, so do not watch is the complement of that. So I have a total of 23 people who did not watch over 40. And remember, I can express that as a decimal also by dividing. So that would give me 0.575 as the decimal equivalent. I could also multiply by 100 or move my decimal 2 spaces to the right to say the probability that someone does not watch is 57.5%. Now they want us to find the probability of A union B. Another way to say that would be A or B. So remember, 9 to 10 was A, watching was event B. So if we want to find the probability that's either 9 or 10 or watching, so I know that the numbers that are in 9 to 10 are 7 and 8. I know 8 and 9. So if I find the total there, I would say 8 plus 9 plus 7 is everybody that either is in 9 or 10 or watching over my total of 40. So that would give me a total of 8 plus 9 plus 7 is 24 over 40, which reduces by a common factor of, let's see, 8, which would be 3 over 5. The decimal equivalent for that would be 0.6. And the percent would be multiplied by 100 or move the decimal 2 spaces. 60% that someone's 9 to 10 or watches. The last one that we want to work on is the probability of A intersect B. Remember, this is the symbol for intersect. Another way to write that would be A and B. So we want to find what are the values are in both events A and B. Well, remember, 9 and 10 is event A. Watch is event B. So the number that is in both of those would be 8. So to determine the probability of that, I would have 8 over the total of 40, which I can reduce that to be 1/5. The decimal equivalent for 1/5, you get that by dividing, is 0.2. And if I wanted to change that to percent, I simply multiply by 100 or move the decimal 2 spaces to the right, which would be 20%. And we're going to work on this some more tomorrow. So make sure you can remember the key points for this video when we get to class tomorrow.